Good evening, Fairy. How are you? Uh-oh. Why can't I see chat? Oh, there. Okay. I see
Good
chat.
evening, Fairy.
Oh. Huh. I forgot I got to turn all my volume down everywhere. Good evening, Miss One. How is everyone this evening? So, we're going to talk about the USAID. Does everyone know what that is? So, things are good. As good as they can be with the world falling apart, or not the world. Well, yeah, actually, the world, all of it is falling apart. So, the USAID is the United States Agency for International Development. That does a lot of things. Does anyone know what it does? Do you have any idea of what it does? I have a feeling it does a lot more than what people know. Do you know why it was created? Am I talking to myself? It does a lot more than help with pandemics in the world and AIDS in Africa. It feeds people. It feeds people around the world. And that's really what the agency was set up for. Because in 1948, I think it was. Hold on. Now I have too many tabs open. Sorry, I should have, I'm never organized. And I have too many windows open. So, here. So it actually started because after World War II, we had an abundance of food. And it was rotting away in storage places. And we didn't have enough storage facilities to hold all the grain and corn and soy and all of that stuff. So, where is... So the president decided that he was going to open this agency to help feed around the world. So the USAID is one of the largest official aid agencies in the world, accounting for more than half of all U.S. foreign assistance, the highest in the world in absolute dollar terms. The USAID has missions in over 100 countries, primarily in Africa, Asia, Latin America, the Middle East, and Eastern Europe. The creation of it, the Congress passed the Foreign Assistance Act on September 4th in 1961, which was recognized U.S. foreign assistance programs and mandated the creation of an agency to administer economic aid. The USAID was subsequently established by the executive order of President John F. Kennedy, who sought to unite several existing foreign assistance organizations and programs under one agency. So there were many agencies that were opened, and it all got combined into one so they could keep track of everything. Congress authorized the USAID programs in the Foreign Assistance Act, which Congress supplements through directions in annual funding appropriations acts and other legislation. So all the money that this organization funds out has all been given to them by Congress, by law, in acts. Not some rich guy can just come take this shit away. He's breaking the law. And I don't understand why people don't understand. He's breaking the law. They're breaking the law. So the purpose is it's a network of residential field missions is drawn to manage the U.S. government programs in low-income countries for a variety of purposes: disaster relief, poverty relief, technical cooperation on global issues and the environment, U.S. bilateral interests, social economical development. It does a lot more than whatever the fuck this guy thinks. So, by closing this, it also fucks with a lot of things. Now, let's talk about the farmers. Because the farmers are the ones that are going to be affected mostly by this. Because a lot of the soy and corn and all these products come from the United States and go all over the world. Exactly, Fairy. Where is Congress? They're not doing a damn thing about it, is what's going on. So, hold on. So, here's something someone in Congress is doing. On February 3rd, which this was written, the House Agricultural Committee ranking member Angie Craig released the following statement regarding the unelected billionaire Elon Musk attack on the U.S. Agency of International Development, USAID, which we're talking about. The U.S.-run International Food Assistance Program provides critical business for American farmers and the entire agricultural supply chain. There are currently now listen to this number, there are currently over 550 million metric tons of food worth over $340 million that were expected to be provided by American farmers, which is now either in limbo or stuck at U.S. export ports, unable to be delivered. The uncertainty caused by Elon Musk's attack on USAID hurts the rural economy and damages proud heritage of American farmers feeding the world. I'll keep standing up to anyone who doesn't have our farmers' best interests at heart. So at least somebody is standing up. But this is not good. So, for instance, this is a organization that I don't even know if it's an organization or an act or what it is, but it's called the Food for Peace, Food for Progress, and the McGovern-Dole program plays a critical role in supporting our agricultural economy. Dismantling these critical programs will erode the rural economy and the infrastructure that supports it. With funding freezes, employee furloughs at the USAID, and the lack of leadership at USDA, further hold on, I lost my place. Further commodity sales for U.S. international food aid programs are in doubt. This uncertainty will start to stall rail car movements. Do you hear that? Trains are going to start stalling, back up export ports, and tie up ships headed towards their destination with food that can't be delivered, risking the spoilage of tons of commodities here and abroad. The markets where U.S.-grown commodities once had a steady presence now look shaky. Why is this okay? Why isn't more people up in arms about this? It's disgusting that they can just do this. No, you want to talk about farmers. Oh, Miss Becky, good evening. Well, let's talk about the Food for Peace program. Food for Peace is the United States flagship program for providing international food assistance. America's farmers are the bedrock of this program. In 2022 alone, American farmers provided over, get this, 4 billion pounds of American-grown grains, soybean, lentil, rice, and other commodity staples to the Food for Peace program that fed nearly 60 million hungry people in developing countries. So, again, we're cutting this program. Why are we cutting this program? For what purpose? Now I gotta find the window with the tab for the Food for Peace. Hold on. I lost a window somewhere. How do you just lose a window? Aha, I found it. So, Becky, I don't think that's gonna make our food prices go down. Because if all these farmers are losing money, aren't they gonna charge us more money to make up for the money that they're losing? Isn't that the way capitalism works? So, Food for Peace. You've lost a lot of things, but not a window. Well, so, Food for Peace. In different administrations and organizations, organizational forms, the Food for Peace program of the United States has provided food assistance around the world for more than 60 years. Approximately 3 billion people in 150 countries have benefited directly from the U.S. food assistance. The Bureau for Humanity Assistance within the United States Agency for International Development. So, now, is the Bureau of Humanitarian Assistance closed now because the USAID is closed? So that's more jobs that are lost, right? More people out of work, right? And he was all about creating jobs and keeping American families working, right? Isn't that what he ran on? So aren't these people losing jobs? Okay, sorry, getting off topic. The food assistance programming is funded primarily through the Food for Peace Act. The Bureau for Humanitarian Assistance also receives international disaster assistance funds through the Foreign Assistance Act. So again, these are acts. These things were created by acts that are laws that were created by the Congress, which are people that are supposed to be representing us. So we were okay with all this being created and our money being spent this way. And this motherfucker's just gonna come in and close this shit down? No, I don't think so. I think we need to push back. Because these are acts. These are laws. They're breaking the law. So, while U.S. food aid started out in the 50s by donating, here we go. While U.S. food aid started out in the 1950s by donating surplus U.S. commodities to nations in need, the U.S. now purchases food for donation directly from American farmers through a comprehensive through a competitive process. The Bureau for Humanitarian Assistance identifies needs in close consultation with the host governments requesting the assistance. So again, why is this being shut down? Again, food prices skyrocketing. Becky, what you're talking about by your food prices skyrocketing has absolutely nothing to do with what we're talking about. Nothing to do with what we're talking about. our food prices aren't going up because we are providing aid to other countries. Exactly, Fairy. All this money has been allocated to these programs. Now, we're going to talk, let's see. So, authorizing legislation. Public Law 480 in 1954. Minnesota Senator Hubert Humphrey, a leading liberal Democrat, promoted a Food for Peace program that would give away surplus crops owned by the U.S. government as an instrument of foreign policy in the Cold War. The bill appealed to some conservative Republicans from farm states, but was opposed by others. In 1954, Dwight Eisenhower signed the Agricultural Trade Development and Assistance Act, or Public Law 480, an action which simultaneously created the Office of Food for Peace. By signing this legislation, the president laid out the basis for a permanent expansion of our exports of agricultural products with lasting benefits to ourselves and people of other lands. So, again, what is bad about this? Why, or not bad, I don't know why the fuck they think it's bad and why they're closing it. Because all this money is by law for a long fucking time. And this is extra food. This is food that is just gonna rot in the fields if it doesn't go anywhere. And not even in the fields, but on shipping containers and at ports and in grain bins and shit. You can't even type his name, Fairy. That's why I call him the orange guy. These are all long-acting things. I mean, I could talk about just the food for acting for an hour, but we're gonna skip along. And we can go back and talk about stuff if you want to. So the Food for Act, or Food for Peace Act, has, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 provisions to it as well. So we could go through all of those if you wanted, but you just type rump. So, now let's talk about some farmers, shall we? Because by closing the USAID, more things are gonna get hurt. It's not, I mean, trucking industries are gonna get hurt. Plants are gonna get closed down. So there is a company called Manna, and it's Georgia. It's from southern Georgia. It's a peanut company, and they make a paste. Hold on, let me find. Oops. Here we go. So, is this the one? The humble peanut might not seem the stuff of miracles, but it plays a key role in producing a shelf-stable food for severely malnourished children that is making a world of difference in their long-term health. From its processing and packing plant in the heart of Georgia's peanut country, Manna Nutritions makes a peanut butter-based product fortified with protein and vitamins called ready-to-use therapeutic food. It's like if you ate a peanut butter and jelly sandwich with a glass of milk and a vitamin, but it requires no refrigeration and you can carry it in your pocket. The non-profit organization packages the paste in containers similar to a ketchup package, but about the same size as a cell phone. It will save the life of a malnourished child and do it quickly. You can provide that product to a child and turn their life around in 6 weeks. And Children born to hunger and living as hungry kids are never able to hit a baseline of good nutritional needs for healthy growth and development. Several acute malnourished or SAM causes more child death each year than AIDS, tuberculosis, and malaria combined. So, more kids are dying from not having enough food. And there is a peanut company in Georgia that gets their funding and stuff through USAID and now is just in limbo. All these children it feeds are just in limbo. How is this right? People should be up in arms about this. Our imports of products are increasing. That's why I was bringing up California. Okay, well, thanks for bringing it up, Becky, but I'm not talking about imports. I'm talking about exports of things that our farmers make and things that this USAID, what it does. So Manna Nutrition's sells to 3 companies. They sell to the USAID, UNICEF, and the World Food Program. Accounted for nearly $50 million of the peanut-based product last year. So if they only sell to 3 things, wow. Okay, here, now this Georgia port isn't going to be having their business. As much of their business anyways. About 1,000 boxes of their peanut butter paste packets are loaded into each shipping container. And we ship over 1,000 containers. They shipped over 1,000 containers last year. So they're affecting a lot more than they think they are. So this stuff goes to South Sudan. So what is this? Oh, so stupid. It's so stupid. When you're researching this stuff, I've been running into this problem all day and it's so fucking frustrating. It says, click here to learn more about it. So this program, I don't even know how you would say it, but it's SHOUHARDO. It means strengthening household ability to respond to development opportunities. Wow, and it's a program implemented by CARE and the USAID. And it's about empowering women, right? Click here. You click here and the site no longer exists. Just gone. Let's see, what's this say? Empowerment interventions help women to fight sexual harassment. Participate more in their children's education, function more independently and freely in their communities, and make greater impact on household decision making. The children of these women felt the effects of their mother's newfound empowerment, becoming less likely to be stunted than children whose mothers... What? That doesn't make sense. Children whose mothers only received direct nutrition intervention. In less than 4 years, stunting in Bangladesh decreased by 28% as a result. I don't know what stunting is. Do any of you know what that is? So Becky says what she's trying to say is that with product not being exported, our food prices can go down. But Becky, what you're missing is it's not food products like you buy at the store. It's the corn and the grain and the soy and soybean is in everything. Everything we eat, there is soy in it. So we create enough soy for all of the stuff that we eat. The excess soy that is produced in this country is what is being exported to other countries to help them. Oh. Oh, thank you. Stunting stops growth. Stunting is when children don't grow, height, weight, and their brain growth is affected. Oh, wow. Wow. That's not good. So, what is CARE, you may ask? Over the past 80 years, CARE has been there, responding to every major world crisis since the end of World War II. Oh, Big Chief, good evening. Welcome. Thank you for joining us. Welcome to me rambling about the USAID and all of the things that it does and all the programs that were created and all the acts that have been written into law that are being broken. Oh, Becky, it's okay. Cheers. Papa pass. So, yeah, I probably... Maybe sometimes I should make it so people can, like, rewind and catch up so they can go back to the beginning and listen to my rambling and then maybe understand where we are in the conversation. Oh, Big Chief, you like when I ramble? And, you know, it's my opinion about all of this is that you should care. And I want people to care. And you can look up everything that I'm saying and do your own research. And I'm just warning you, some of the sites won't work because shit's been shut down. And this is wrong. When has there been a time in our government where you go to a website that is talking about feeding the world, kids, babies, malnourished babies, and they're closing this shit down? And all you people that are supposed to be about the kids, well, these are fucking kids of the world. You should care. It breaks my heart. Oh, Becky, you weren't wrong. Don't say you were wrong. You just didn't know what I was talking about. And people just joining might not know what I'm talking about. And we may jump all over the place and have to go back to other things. So if you get lost in this conversation, type in all capital letters. This is the time you can yell at me. Get my attention. We can go back. Fairy, are you yelling in excitement now? So, cares. Let's see what let's talk about their work. In 2020, 168 million people needed humanitarian assistance, a number that has continued to grow over the last decade. 70.8 million people have been forcefully displaced from their homes. The human consequences of these crises are devastating. Families struggle to find shelter, to get enough to eat, and to find safe places to rebuild their lives. 1 in 5 women in crisis have experienced sexual assault. On an average, humanitarian crises are more complex than at any time in the last 15 years. The last nearly 3 years longer than they used to be. Conflicts, migration, and climate change are the key trends of driving these crises. With 8 of the worst food crises in the world linked to conflict and climate change. This is all the CARES Act, or the CARES organization, CARE organization, whatever it's called. Our 2030 goal, CARE provides equality women and girls forced and localized humanitarian assistance to 10% of those affected in major crises, reaching at least 50 million people by 2030. So, in the next 5 years, they wanted to reach at least 50 million people. Well, how can they do that when it's all been shut down? So 50 million people aren't going to have humanitarian assistance because of this. Alright, now we gotta go to the other window, this one. Okay, so let's talk about how it's gonna affect Kansas farmers. Oh, can I play this one? Oh, I can. Uh-oh. Let's see what this sounds like. Why isn't it playing?
Matched with one of 25,000 therapists and can communicate via video.
Oh, no, I can't do that. Let's see if... Alright, hold on. Alright, here we go. I think I'll be able to play this.
Mental health through therapy. Clients are matched with one of 25,000 therapists and can communicate via video, chat, or phone.
What is this? That's not... Well, that's not playing what I thought it was going to. Oh, maybe it's a commercial first. Oh, good evening, Beard.
At betterhelp.com/public.
President Trump and Elon Musk's moves upending foreign aid are seismic. Most staffers are on leave from the U.S. Agency for International Development. Food aid from the U.S. has been disrupted, hurting people overseas, but hitting American farmers who grow a large share of that aid as part of the 70-year-old Food for Peace program. Nick Lewandowski is head of the Kansas Farmers Union, which works with Food for Peace. He's in the Topeka area. Nick, welcome.
Thank you, Robin. It's good to be with you.
And we're reading in the Topeka Capital Journal that this was a program that was started by what sounds like a brilliant Cheyenne County farmer, Peter O'Brien, in 1953, when at a Farm Bureau meeting, he said, hey, we have tons of surplus. It just sits there and rots. There are starving people around the world. Maybe there's something we can do. And a Kansas senator sponsored the legislation. It was signed by another Kansan, President Dwight Eisenhower. Tell us how it works for farmers there and why it's been seen as such a success.
Well, that's exactly right, Robin, and we're very proud of the history that Food for Peace has here in Kansas. And so the farmers that grow grain here in Kansas grow the grain, mainly wheat and then grain sorghum. They grow those grains and then they sell the grain to either their local elevator, cooperative elevator, or to a larger grain merchandiser, which then does contracts through USAID. USAID puts out bids for that grain and then acquires it and exports it to these countries that need it.
And it is, as you say, it's merciful, but also it's, at least some Republican presidents thought it was good for democracy. Here's Ronald Reagan in 1984.
But its great contribution is that it's an instrument of American compassion, and it also reflects America's practicality. We recognized 30 years ago that people who are hungry are weak allies for freedom.
In other words, the whole idea behind USAID is to also send the symbolic democracy that comes with all the shipments, and hopefully countries choose that. Also to keep starving people from crossing borders, looking for food. I mean, there's so many different reasons for it. I'm going to read you something that Elon Musk has said about the program. And apologies in advance. These aren't my opinions. But he said, USAID is hopeless. He said, it's a criminal organization. USAID is evil. Are any of your farmers there who are producing this product, who will get, money from the federal government for this surplus? Are they criminal? Is there an evil intention? Are they making money off of U.S. taxpayers?
No, I don't believe so. Kansas farmers are good people, and they do what they do because they care about making sure that the world is fed. And when you hear comments like that, it is very concerning. And I've done a little bit of investigating myself, and I happened across an article yesterday that said that USAID was investigating Mr. Musk and his some of his programs with Starlink. So to me, it seems like there's an attack on USAID because Mr. Musk was under investigation himself.
Well, Newsweek, for instance, is reporting that a USAID official said in September during congressional hearings that they'd been examining their relationship with Musk's Starlink. But what do you say to your Senator, Roger Marshall, who said USAID was plagued by improper payments?
I challenge him and my friend Jerry Moran, who's our other senator, to step up to the plate and say, if there is a problem, then let's investigate it. But let's not burn everything to the ground in the meantime.
Well, in the meantime, what happens? I don't imagine that grain that's held in big, huge bins can last long. What's going on right now?
Well, right now, one of the biggest concerns is there is grain that is ready for export through USAID, and it's sitting in ports right now in bags. And they do as much as they can to protect that grain, keep it from pests and the weather and all that. But it has a shelf life. It has been purchased. It's sitting on a barge or barges, $340 million worth of product. Wow. And I know that Senator Moran has called on Secretary of State Rubio to move that shipment out. We need to get that grain moved, and we need to do what we said we would do.
There's also a perception this is all money going out of the country. Obviously,
Sure.
People are forgetting that the things that we are making and developing and sending out of the country are made and developed by Americans who are being paid for that. Do you have a sense of, over the decades, how much money has come into American farming for this surplus, and how much, maybe how many people have been fed, how many tons have gone out?
I've done a little looking into this myself, and I found that roughly 4 billion people over this time period have been fed and nourished because of this program, the Food for Peace program. And a Kansas State University study on the value of USAID ag research showed a return of $8.52 for every dollar invested. That's to the state of Kansas.
Making the point that USAID money comes into the U.S. as well.
Exactly.
Yeah. Nick Lavandowski, Executive Director of the Kansas Farmers Union, outside Topeka there. Thank you so much, Nick, for pulling over to talk to us. Thank you.
Thank you, Robin.
So is that not
Support for WBUR's live stream comes from the...
So isn't that very interesting? It's hitting everywhere. This is going to hit hard. Just this one little agency. And this is a power grab. This is to control money of Congress. This is so he can control it, not the people that we vote in. This is ridiculous. And now they have, what's his name in charge of the OMB? Is it OMB? The guy that wrote Project 2025. This is just a mess. This is gonna be a mess. So that's one thing of USAID. We have the Kansas farmers. Now let's talk about Michigan. Shall we? And the Michigan State University. Shall we? $13 million was awarded to them from the USAID for Global Biotech Potato. They are keeping 294 staff out of 10K personnel. Jesus, that's a lot of jobs. Where are you talking about, Becky? Because just by them closing the USAID, 51,946 jobs were lost in the U.S. And over 100,000 jobs globally were lost just by that closing. So, I wonder if that's just the office in D.C. that they're, hold on, let me Google that. I'm right here in front of my computer. I can do those things. What's Forbes say? Oh, Trump sued over USAID cuts. Nearly all employees face layoffs. This was, let's see, when was this was updated February 6th, 2025 at 9:40 p.m. Eastern Time. So like an hour ago. Almost an hour ago. Nearly all USAID's global workforce will be laid off, multiple outlets reported Thursday. A move that comes as President Trump and several members of his administration have discussed restructure or abolish parts of the Foreign Aid Agency, drawing a lawsuit calling the moves unconstitutional and illegal. Bingo! Ding, 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 ding. That's exactly what it is. Unconstitutional and illegal. That's exactly what it is. You can't close USAID. You just can't do it. All that money has been appropriated for them. There are laws that are written into fucking forever. Oh, good evening, Neil. Welcome to my rant. Me going off about the government and how we're screwed. It's only February and I'm already tired of this administration. Becky, I was tired of them before they even got in. Like, I was yelling, red flags, everyone, red flags. Do you see this? Do you see what's going on? You morons. You morons aren't paying attention. And I'm going to be the first one to say, you did this. All you red people out there, you did this. This is your fault. You know, SCOTUS will what? SCOTUS won't do jack shit. If you're helping on SCOTUS, we're screwed. Fairy. Becky, if Harris was in there, USAID wouldn't be closed down. You don't understand what's going on. You're not seeing the bigger picture. You're not seeing the fact that he is trying to seize power of what the money does in this country. The president has no control over that. The Congress does. The Senate does. The House, you know, there are different parts. All he does is sign his little finger signature on a piece of paper. Oh, you were saying that, yeah. Well, some of these judges have been holding up and saying they're not going to do this shit. Like the birthright citizenship. They're like, no, that's in the Constitution, dumbass. You can't just sign a little piece of paper, executive order, and say it's gone. Okay, so at 9:30 tonight, Eastern Time, a labor union and the American Foreign Service Association sued Trump over his plan to shut down large swaths of the USAID operations, arguing the Constitution only allows the Congress, not the president, to scrap a federal agency, which is 100% true. He can't do that. And worst of all, Elon Musk can't do that on Orange Guy's behalf. This is all illegal. Here. I see where you see it, Becky. At 6 p.m. tonight, Eastern Time, the New York Times reported that the Trump administration plans to cut down USAID staff of 10,000 down to 290 positions. But, see, that's just the staff within the agency. It's so weird, Neil. Some of your comments are coming up, and other comments aren't coming up. See, this is another reason why I like the chat box, because then it's like all comments come up. So, good thing I have two things going right now. Yes, maggots think putting 9,700 people on the street without a job is just peachy. But again, it's way more than that, Neil. Like, there are companies and organizations and programs and stuff that use USAID for a living. There are trucking companies that are not going to be trucking as much stuff across the country. Like should I go back to the beginning? I don't even know where that window is, so I can't. Hold on, what's this? Maybe this link right here will talk about it. Oh no. Where's that window? Oh, here's another one. Feed the Future incentive. Was launched in 2010 by the United States government and the Obama administration to address global hunger and food insecurity. According to Feed the Future, it is the U.S. government's global hunger and food security initiative. Initiative, my bad. The Feed the Future initiative began as an effort to combat the global food price spikes of 2007 and 2008. In 2009, President Obama committed $3.5 billion over a 3-year period to a global incentive with the intent of combating hunger and poverty. In May 2010, the United States Department of State launched the Feed the Future initiative. The initiative was developed by the Department of State and is coordinated primarily by the U.S. Agency of International Development. So, the main objective of the initiative are the advancement of global agricultural development, increased food production and food security, and improve nutritional I can't say that word, for vulnerable populations such as women and children. So again, feeding women and children. Oh, have a wonderful night, Neil. Thank you for stopping by. I appreciate it. Much love, my friend. So this is another thing that's going to be cut down, that isn't going to be functioning anymore. There are a lot of these programs and stuff. I don't think they're not paying attention. No one's paying attention. There is way more than just one little office that this is affecting. I mean, we're talking billions of dollars that are now being stopped. What are they going to do with it? What are they going to do with all this extra money? I mean, this is so fucked up. Good evening, Cece. How are you this evening, Cece? I'm just bitching about shit. I'm mad that people aren't paying attention to what's going on, and things are being closed, and soy farmers are gonna be hurt, and corn farmers are gonna be hurt, and peanut farmers are gonna be hurt. Women and children are gonna be hurt. But it's all okay, right? Because the orange guy's in office. So he's gonna fix it, right? Blech. Oh, Becky, I wish I could hibernate with you. But hibernating isn't gonna make it any better. Not gonna make it any better. Well, So feedthefuture.gov. It's a U.S. program, correct? Something that was put into law. You click on it, page no longer found. Feedthefuture.gov does not exist. Erasing history. So, and it says, how does Feed the Future work? The Department of State contributes to Feed the Future by promoting global, regional, national, and subnational policies that foster and sustain reduction in hunger and malnutrition, and sustainable increase in agricultural development in ways that currently promote U.S. economic prosperity and national security. So why was that shut down? Why does that page no longer exist? It's in the State Department. It has nothing to do with it. Nothing, meaning anything feedthefuture.gov is gone. Anything U.S. Agency of International Development, which is USAID, gone. You click on it, what comes up? On Friday, February 7th, 2025, at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, all USAID direct hire personnel will be placed on administrative leave globally, with the exception of designated personnel responsible for missions, critical functions, core leadership, and specifically designated programs. Essential personnel expected to continue working will be informed by agency leadership by Thursday, February 6th at 3 p.m. It's their, get the fuck out of here. One, frequently asked questions. 1, if I am posted overseas and placed on administrative leave, am I required to return to the United States within the next 30 days? No. While USAID and the Department of State are preparing a plan under which USAID personnel posted overseas would be offered optional and fully reimbursed return travel to the United States within 30 days. Personnel are not required to accept agency-sponsored travel or to return to the United States with any specific deadline. Overseas USAID personnel retain the option to remain at their post even while placed on administrative leave and not working. Beyond 30 days, however, agency-funded and arranged return travel may not be available unless individualized expectation is sought and granted. Yeah, you can come back maybe in 30 days. Maybe we'll let you back in. I mean, what the fuck? That seems so fucked up to me. But that's what it is. Whenever you go to any USAID government site, it's that's what it says. Let's see what the U.S. Embassy in Uganda is saying. Because, you know, there's an Ebola outbreak right there, or there right now. Oh, well, let's read this real quick. USG, the United States government, Feed the Future incentive. This is February 12th, 2024. Led by the United States Agency for International Development, USAID, launched the new 5-year Global Food Security Strategy in Uganda country plan. Feed the Future aims to reduce hunger, poverty, and malnutrition by supporting agricultural-led economic growth, strengthening resilience, and ensuring a well-nourished population. The program will target interventions in northern and eastern Uganda to lift 1 million people out of poverty. What's going to happen to that? Is that just gone now? All those people that are working on that? Is that just gone because it's funded by the Feed the Future and USAID? Is that just gone? And who's gonna feed these people in Uganda? When we're not taking it up, who's gonna do it? Asia? Fucking China? This is ridiculous. I mean, we could talk about this for a while. So, the plan, 6 key areas for the intervention: expanding access to high quality agricultural seed and equipment, promoting inclusive agricultural water business and financial service daily. 3, helping Uganda be more competitive in trade markets, investing in agricultural research and development, building a resilience to the climate change and safeguarding natural resources, improving nutrition, sanitation, hygiene, and resilience for, I don't know what that is. Anyways, moving forward, Feed the Future investments will target 42 districts where both chronic hunger and the potential for agricultural growth is high. So what's going to happen to that? Just gone? Just gone. Did you even know USAID did that stuff? And, the right always talks about, when we talk about climate change, you know how many ships are being shipped everywhere? Well, yes, we're feeding these countries, but we're also teaching them how to grow it on their own and be better and make their own money and be able to be in trade markets. Make them a developed country. Help them become a developed country. Because it's the United States Agency for International Development. We all need to develop around this fucking place. I can't believe this is going on in this country. And people are just, I don't know, not paying attention, don't care. So, I think I'm going to end it there. I mean, I have way more tabs and way more stuff we could talk about. But maybe we'll save that for tomorrow night. Or maybe we'll talk about it in the morning over birds and coffee. But thank you, everyone, for being here. I appreciate it, Fairy, you hanging in the whole time. I hope maybe this gets some people thinking about things and what's going on. Maybe I am trying to influence your opinion a little bit. I don't know. I don't care anymore. This shit just gotta stop. It's just gotta be done. We can't let this happen. Oh, your tooth is killing you? Oh, I'm so sorry, Fairy. Are you going to the dentist or anything? I think you need to see someone about the tooth. Teeth are important. They help us chew our food, so we're not malnourished. It is sad what's going on, and I don't know why more people aren't talking about it. They talk about all the big things, but they don't talk about this. I mean, we could get into the farmers. Maybe we'll do that another night. If you're making an appointment in the morning, good. There's a lot going on, and maybe this is what I'm gonna focus on. This and feeding people. That's what we do as Americans. That's what this country's always done for as long as I've been alive. We feed the world. We produce enough stuff here that we can feed the world. And that's what we should do, and we shouldn't stop doing it. So if you're just joining us, please hit the thumbs up on your way out this evening. Because I'm ending. And thank you for all of you that have been here. Please feel free to join us in chat next time. We're nice. We won't bite your head off unless you make us. Even if you don't agree with us, be respectful. We can talk like adults. And we need to love everybody and start listening to everybody. So with that being said, peace and love to all those that matter. Be kind, it's free. And stay positive in this fucked up world. And it's time to stand up and fight back. Because this is our home. And this is our country. And it's not some billionaires. So, good night, everyone. Bye.